Okay, we have this guy who has a short film that's very impressive. We have this guy who maybe not as impressive, but he's coming into the room with a very strong, devoted sort of following, And we strongly believe that that's going to be a crucial component in doing what we would for free, but getting paid for it, I guess, is one way of saying it,
YouTube, the most popular video sharing website on the internet today. 2 billion views a day. 24 hours of video uploaded every minute. More content goes up on YouTube in 60 minutes than all 3 major US television networks have made in the past 60 years. And it's only 5 years old. But when you think of YouTube, what comes to mind? This? Or this? Well, what about this? Or this? Or even this? And by the way, yes, that is Spartacus.
It started out kind of just as a website where anyone could upload their home videos and everyone could kind of look at each other's stuff, you could search. But it's actually been turning into a platform for young filmmakers and upcoming filmmakers to upload their videos and actually start getting feedback and grow an audience.
But now it's become more of a creative place for people to come to and kind of share ideas.
Actual short films and just stuff that has talent, essentially.
Not only does YouTube offer a new medium for filmmakers to express their art, it also brings to the table a revolutionary new theory of them making a name for themselves.
We found now that we have the opportunity, instead of creating projects and hoping to find an audience for that project, you can build your audience first and then cater to that audience, which is, it's a different sort of way, it's a slight different way of thinking of things, and it's sort of what we've been exploring with our YouTube channel.
It's had a little bit of an effect in the last few years on indie filmmaking because prior to that, really the only place you could put short films were, occasionally, I think HBO would put things like, little short films in between their programming, and festivals really were the only places that you could put short film. It's a much more accessible venue, than having to, fly out somewhere to go see your short film at a film festival.
Film festivals have been the only thing that you could get your stuff out there. And now with YouTube, everyone can see your stuff at any given time, it being a outlet for filmmakers to put up material for the whole world to see it.
People are realizing that they can just upload their movies instantly to YouTube and instantly there's an audience.
It lets people put things online, it lets people sort of really find an audience in that way because it's just so open and anyone can get access to it.
What few people know, however, is that YouTube also offers a tool for filmmakers to attain professional success: partnership.
If you have a steady number of viewers and you have a following and you have a certain amount of subscribers, YouTube sees that and they come to you and they ask you, would you like to become a YouTube partner?
Totally want to fight bad guys today, man.
YouTube Partnership is a program that Google started a few years back, which basically allows content creators to share in the ad revenue that they make on the video. So the idea is that you put the video up, Google puts some ads up, and then you split that revenue with Google.
The way it works out for you is every time you get a certain amount of views, you get a certain amount of money. And the better your videos are, the more views you get, the more money you get.
The idea was to allow certain content creators to share in the ad revenue that Google makes on their videos.
In a way, you kind of, YouTube and yourself are both growing on the partnership.
Partnership helps a lot with that aspect because you can gain a lot of viewers and then you can gain revenue off of those hits. So I mean, it benefits you a lot in that aspect.
Not everyone can get it, that's the problem. So there is sort of a competition that I guess if you're a partner, you're in this in crowd.
A quick look at the YouTube homepage illustrates that almost all of the featured videos are from partnered channels. Obviously, partnership comes with popularity as well as the financial gain. But how does one become a partner? A According to YouTube's posted qualifications, one must upload original, owned content on a regular basis and attain a large amount of views.
I got partner probably about 6 months ago. To me, YouTube partnership offers me a way to fund upcoming projects.
For us, it's one of those things where it allows us to experiment with filmmaking, and it allows us to make our shorts, and at the same time not have to go support ourselves with with a job, and it allows us to focus all of our time on sort of the artistic side of filmmaking, which is something I think when you're making just short films is prior to this point almost unheard of.
You see a lot of YouTube partners that are bigger. You see them starting to get jobs for actual companies. You see all these different things, these little channels that people who are popular on the internet use to get into the mainstream media.
Now you're starting to see on YouTube, advertising, sort of commercial sort of gigs that some of the YouTubers are picking up, and really that's a function of having like a big audience. A few years ago, bloggers that had a big audience of readers could, start to see companies coming up to them and saying, hey, would you review this product? Would you endorse this product? And things like that. Various commercial opportunities.
People watch YouTube videos and they come to the people who made them and they say, hey, do you want to make a commercial for us? Do you want to do this or do you want to do that?
The old way of doing short films and sort of getting your name out there was to make a short, submit it to a festival, pay ridiculous festival fees, hope it gets in, hope it's a festival that anyone cares about, hope then they win some awards, then go around and shop that short film around, or make a music video or a commercial. People are still doing that, and from my experience, at least as far as the short film route, it seems to be less and less like a calling card as it was. But nowadays, I think people are a little less inclined, I think, to look at those, just because it's kind of for me, it seems like an old way of doing things.
It's a way to get noticed. I have my YouTube link on my resume because I feel it has all my work up there. It's the perfect thing to show someone if I'm applying for a job.
What partnership enables you to do is enables you to support yourself. After a certain point, partnership enables you to support yourself off of the work that you're doing on YouTube, which basically from there, that lets you, build the audience, and lets you sort of focus all your attention on sort of the new media, so YouTube video making.
What do people really want to see? Most of the time, people will not see an original short film unless they come across it and it looks appealing.
Yeah.
It lets us sort of engage with a big audience, and it lets us get immediate feedback on the things that we're doing.
We've tried to make stuff that where we know that people will click on and watch. Fallout, and then we did like a Stalker thing, which is originally a Fallout thing, and then we've done other things. Feature films like The Freelance that I've done. It really wouldn't benefit you too much unless you have a substantial amount of viewers and subscribers.
A huge amount of subscribers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So The Freelance, just to make this really quick, The Freelance is about an hour and a half full feature film that had been cut up in like 3 different sections. So with that being, I was very surprised when we put out the first two. Like the first one, I think got about 50,000 hits for it being a 40-minute video.
It would definitely be nice to have YouTube as a job. I mean, a lot of people do.
People watch them and they get 1 million hits off them each day. So I mean, it's definitely a living.
There's a CNN interview with Mr. Guitarman where I think it sort of sums up everybody's feelings about YouTube as a full-time job, where, Mr. Guitarman got on and the interviewer, this idiot, he's, like, hey, I wish I could, sit in my pajamas and make videos all day, which to me indicates like, this guy doesn't quite understand what the work involved is. YouTube as a full-time job might seem like a nice, fun, easy thing, and for some people it is, but for a lot of people, for most people, it's easily something that takes up full-time and then some. It's very involved. It's a lot of work as far as timing is concerned. It's more so, I held a salaried job at 20th Century Fox before I got into doing more film stuff, and it's like easily 4 times as much work as I was doing at Fox.
If one is to make the transition between making videos for the web audience and the internet, and then transitioning to making, working on actual productions for, say, a studio, of course there are going to be artistic liberties that you can't take anymore because the studio has limits.
Oh, there's always going to be a trade-off, you know. If you're not paying for everything, then there's going to be a trade-off, no matter what, in anything you do in life, you know. So if you're going to do a feature film and someone's saying, hey, here's some money for it, you're going to necessarily give up some of your freedom that you have in order to get to that money. It's to be expected that at some point, you know, unless you're funding everything yourself, that you're going to have to, you know, give up creative freedom at some point. The question is, you know, to what extent? And one thing that YouTube lets us say is, you know, we're not, when we come into this, it's not like we're just like guys with a really good short film and we want to make a feature and we're not tested, you know. We can come into it and say, hey, we want to make something like this. This is something we know that our audience responds to. And so that's kind of something that we have that, you know, filmmakers in the past, when they're first starting out, don't necessarily, you know.
There's a bunch of stuff that the studio places on videos to limit filmmakers, and that's one of the major hurdles working in the studio system.
That's as far as you want to go, and that's something that's, like, you know, really compelling to you. That's awesome, you know, because then you can reach that with YouTube partnership. For other people, you know, like us, we look at it as more like a, hey, this is our chance to work on our skills and be able to focus on that without having to, you know, spend time doing a part-time job in order to support ourselves. And so for us, that's what the function is. So YouTube partnership really is whatever you make of it. And, you know, for some people, if it gets you to where you want to go, then that's awesome. For other people, it may just be, you know, a part of, you know, some larger aspiration.
I mean, it's basically a way for you to make money, and eventually, I mean, if you make good enough content, to make a living off of what you love to do, to get paid for what you love to do.
I can't say that YouTube partnership is like a definitive good or a definitive bad. I think in general, anything that lets you do what you want to do and support yourself is a good thing.